Hey folks, this is a quick tips and tricks on removing the exhaust manifold from this Chevy Super Duty with a 6-liter in it. As usual, please, if you find any of my blithering content useful, please like, subscribe. We got a broken bolt in the manifold here. There are 8 bolts in this manifold, and there were only 2 left. 2! These ones. The rest were gone. Pretty common in these. I had the same problem with my F-150. So how do we get this off? First of all, downpipe. Oh, look, 2 are good. 1, this one's stripped. It was pretty seized on there. I ended up, oh, that one's broken too. I ended up jacking the manifold up. Jacking it up high enough in here, and then eventually using an air impact to chisel at it, and a grinder, I was able to cut the bolt and get it off. Spark plug boots, they literally disintegrated. As soon as I touched these wires, they exploded off. And these things are really tight. Grab them with some adjustables, crank them back. If you get your adjustables in really tight to the head, like flush, and then you can use the head to lever it off. Get some lube on there. It wasn't the end of the world, but it's going to need new spark plug wires, which is nothing compared to these studs. 2 of the studs were left, these little ones that were sticking out. We had enough to grab onto. About this cool stud extractor. This thing is rad. It goes right on there, and you tighten it by going left. So you basically just put your long socket extension on here, just keep tightening, and the teeth tighten, and then it rotates, and it rotated them right out. Fantastic tool, totally worth it. Now we've got 2 broken studs, so they're in the head. So the method is, that I've done before, you put a little nut over this, and you fill this thing with weld to attach it to that, because it shouldn't stick to the aluminum head, and should stick to the nut, and then hopefully break it off. It may take a few tries. It's a real pain, but I don't know any other way to get it off here. I was able to pull the manifold up to the top, and I pulled, of course, this big plastic fender off so we can get in here. I don't know other vehicles with LSs, how much tight it is. The Corvette, you just pull that body off. But trucks, surely you can come in through here. It's not too bad, the access. If you break the plugs off, whatever, just crank them out, put some new ones in. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Those are my tips. I looked at some other stuff on the internet, looking for their tips. And this is where it's at. Instead of using vice grips, this stud extractor, really nice, but now we've got 2 broken studs, and it's time to get the welder out for some unpleasantness. But hopefully it goes well. We don't set anything on fire, because fire is bad. Anyways, let me know how your experience. Maybe I can help you out if you're just getting stuck. I'll see you in the next one. As an additional, I finally got the 2 studs out that were stuck in there, and they were tough. So, tie back all the lines here. I covered the exhaust ports in metal tape because you don't want welding slag to fly in there. And the first one over here, this left one, I welded a nut on the first time. It didn't hold. The second time, I started using much higher heat so that it started glowing right away on the 220 welder, and that seemed to give better penetration. That one backed out. This one in the back took 8 nuts. I tried 8 times putting nuts on there, and they broke off, and they broke off, and they broke off. And I tried higher heat and lower heat, and eventually I settled on pretty high heat that made it glow after about 2 seconds of welding. And I just kept trying, and then eventually it started to turn, and then it broke off, and then I did 1 more, and she came off. I got the welder up underneath the frame rail in here, and so what I did is I put the nut on the end of these vice grips, and you basically hold her in there, hold the nut there, and then tack it in. Just turn my head and tack it, and then once it's held, then you can put your mask on and fill it with weld. And then if it breaks, just try it again and again. They were held in with significant torque. It was really in there. I'm really surprised. You'd think that once there was no pressure on it, that it would just come right out. The F-150 was easier. But stick to it. I mean, there's only 6 bolts in here to hold on that huge, heavy cast manifold. But stick with it, and they'll come out, and be patient, and don't get burned by your welder. And if it doesn't work one day, come back the next day and try again.